All right, what we got here? 1963 Oldsmobile Holiday Dynamic 88. I purchased this car about a year ago, and it originally had the 394 Oldsmobile 4-barrel. Um, the pretty good stout motor, but it liked its fuel. The previous owner had spun a rod bearing, and then after he had tried rebuilding it with some pistons out of a different motor they machined to make work, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, I purchased the car without an engine in it. Very clean car, very beautiful car. I decided instead of trying to rebuild that 394 that I was going to do something a little bit different. If you can see what it is, that's a 2002 5.3 liter out of a Chevrolet Silverado. So I started this video a little bit late. I'm kind of an old person, so I didn't really think until I started watching some of these videos of it can be informative, because I've found myself watching some videos and finding them very interesting. So if I can show anybody anything else and help them, I'm glad. But like I say, I've gotten in here a little bit late onto this videos and that stuff, but I've had that 5.3 in here a multitude of times. I have built my engine mounts here, if you can see them. And the passenger side's not all too difficult. If you can take a look at that, is that you got a nice frame to work with. You could get any sort of aftermarket mounts, make them work. I decided to go with the biscuit style mounts, just because it's not for this side, but for this side. If you look at that, you got kind of an angle because you have that power steering box right there. And I didn't want to change too much on this car. If you look, things are a little offset. It's the easiest I was able to make things work. Had to move the brake line around just a little bit to make it work, but it's just an interesting car to work with. We'll put it that way. It's hard to find any kind of parts. Everything here, I gotta hope like heck that I don't damage. Again, then I just made up my own engine mounts that will go on the side here. Again, for the biscuit style engine mounts. You can see nothing real special. Anybody with a welder and some talent or a little bit of, ingenuity can make up themselves. And then here, like I say, it's that 5.3. I have all the wiring harness over here in the corner all done up already. And the greatest thing about this car is it actually has a pickup or a fuel suction line and a return line on it already from factory. I didn't realize the 63 would have a fuel return, but should be pretty easy. Here's my mess of a wiring harness. That was a fun one to do. The other problem you run into with this, the very small transmission tunnel on the car. I had to do something I really didn't want to do, but it's gonna be hopefully nice in the long run. Take a look in here. I got some of my materials that I'll be using to fabricate my new tunnel once I have it done. But you can see it's a fairly clean car for 1963, unmolested until I got it, of course. Oldsmobile, beautiful car, very clean, very solid. Oh, I can't wait to. Here's a seat that I'd taken out and the carpet and everything else. Here's that tiny transmission tunnel that I had pulled out. So, here's the huge trunk where I could fit plenty of bodies if I need be. Ha, just kidding. I wouldn't tell you guys if I did something like that. That'd be pretty dumb. So, but then I have, once I get the engine in there, I will be finishing up the cross member. I have some 2.5 by 1.5 inch square tubing. If you can see that in the floor there, that's going to be for my transmission cross member. I'll fabricate up with some iron and whatever else to do that. The thing I would like to show you though, and it's very, very laughable. They had an exhaust This, if you're anything aware of how Oldsmobile had their exhaust manifolds, it was really a weird setup. And this was from this here. It was part of the original exhaust when I had purchased the car. The pipe coming, the old rusty pipe, was the original exhaust. They wanted duals on here. As you can see, this pipe here was an add-on. Very well done, huh? And you look underneath the car. We'll go underneath the car here instead of trying to go through the floor pan there. But you can't really see it. You notice this pipe has no muffler in it. We'll go back here a little bit. You can't see it. But the original exhaust has a glass pack in it. So one pipe, basically in essence, is a straight pipe. The other one has a glass pack on it. So, sorry, I just found that very funny. So, that's just me, but I know I'm not perfect either, but it's one of those things. I don't believe in doing things half-assed and whatever else. So, but, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully you like this and it's informational and we'll learn together. I'll put some more videos on when I put the engine in. Yeah, and don't mind that old truck over there. That's only been a 10-year project. We'll get her done. Maybe I'll even video that one. But, yeah, so, again, I'm just, like I say, I'm just putting this together. My 63 Oldsmobile. Beautiful car. Clean car. And, yeah, thank you for watching.